tender age of 18, I'm burnt out. I've gone through burnout, mom. I'm having a nervous breakdown. My grandmother had an opinion on everything and so did my mother. So we were like three very, very opinionated people, and trust me, those opinionated people had fights amongst themselves also. And sometimes it was over me. When I first had to do a scene with my mother, I was so scared that, and I had to just stand in front of her and I had to just kind of give her a look. And I was like, me give my mother a wrong look? My dad actually warned me. He said, you better be sure about what you want to do, because once you put that makeup on, it's not going to come off. Been a mom for like 22 years now, and it's not a role, it's a role that I wake up with every day and go to sleep with every day. So it's not something that's alien to me. It's something that comes pretty much, it's like part of my DNA. I can't not be Nissa's and Yug's mother ever. And though my son and my daughter both are like, we don't want to watch you crying so much. I don't understand why you have to keep crying in all your movies so much. Should be like Papa, na? Does he cry in any of his movies? Does he? He's like, no, he doesn't. I think he respects me as an actor enough to know that what I'm doing is right for me. And as a director as well. I think he was very clear about that. He's like, let's just put up the 4 cameras, you act. Glamour and fame are the side effects of your success. But actually, feminism is just being complete in who you are and doing exactly what you want to do without needing anybody else. I think it's everybody's personal journey. To go under the knife or not go under the knife or do whatever they want to, I think it's everybody's personal choice, and that should be left to them, whether they are in the limelight or they aren't in the limelight.
She's sharp, she's intuitive, and she has a mechanism within which is always switched on. There's no dissembling. What you see is what you get. Every big film made in the 90s was first offered to Kajol. She doesn't talk about it, but I, as a journalist who chronicled the 90s, know that every single film was first offered to Kajol. From Bekhudi to Baazigar, from Dilwale Dulhania to Gupt, from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai to Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, and to her more recent films, whatever she touches is gold. I'm in conversation with Sunshine in a Teacup, Kajol. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation.
Thank you, Jitesh, for that very chronicled description of my career.
But you are lovely now. What to do? My first question to you is, of course, your current film, Sar Zameen. You worked with Saif in your first film, Bekhudi. I remember you all did the Motherhood shot together. And of course, you subsequently went to do, and now you're working with Ibrahim. So do you see the same bratishness, notoriety in both of them? Does he remind you a lot of Saif?
He does, especially on screen. I think there is this, the camera loves both of them. And definitely no two ways about it. But I think Ibrahim is a little quieter. He is a little, yes, he is. He's a little quieter. At least he was around me when we were shooting or whatever. He was a little quieter, a little more subdued or whatever. Or maybe he was in character, I don't know. So, he is a little quieter. And I think Saif has a much larger personality and a persona per se. So I think...
Is there some incident that you recall with Saif, and like when you were chatting with Ibrahim, I said, oh, this sounds like I'm getting deja vu?
He does sound like Saif when he's talking. But no, I think they're both very, very different people. Very, very different people. So no.
You've launched the careers of some 100 debutant directors, from Aditya Chopra to Karan Johar. Right now, Sar Zameen also has Kajol Irani's debut film. So what, do they get intimidated by you, the debutants? What is the kind of, like I remember Gulzar Saab telling me ki every debutant thinks this is the do or die film. He wants to put all the 100 things that he does into this film. So do you have to handhold these debutant directors?
I'm definitely not handholding anybody. That's not my job description, and I don't try it anyways. It's a useless endeavor. But as far as putting them at ease is concerned, yes, that is also part of my job, to make sure that that the director can and does communicate with me effectively, and I am able to do so in return. And so that we can go on to have better discussions and make better movies. That is the end result of all of our efforts. So yes, I think that is part of what we need to do to make each other comfortable. And I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of, debutant directors or whatever, as you call them. So yeah, it's necessary.
Also, there's a happy coincidence. Your mother worked with Prithviraj Sukumaran's father, and now you're working with him. So, what was the sort of equation while doing Sir?
Prithviraj is lovely. He's such a wonderful guy, and I'm really, really happy to have worked with him and to have known him. He's lovely to work with. Fine actor, what a fine actor, an even finer person. So great to work with him on screen and off screen as well.
You've done 34 years and still counting, and may you continue to be like Zohra Sehgal doing films at 100. I'd love that. But do you think that when you act, the grammar changes? Like, do you have to reinvent your acting? Like, say, when you worked in, say, Udhaar Ki Zindagi or a Gupt, and then you work in a Sarzameen or you work in a Ma, like with, even Vishal Furia. Is there some sort of change in the grammar or something that you have to change when you act in front of the camera?
I think you have to keep changing and reinventing yourself according to the director's expectations as well. So even to Sarzameen, it was, yes, I've worked with debutant directors before or whatever, and there are definitely certain places where I feel I know better. But I think the overall thing about working with new directors is that they're looking at you in a new way, and you have to give them that leeway, and you have to kind of relearn and relook at yourself that, oh, it can be done this way as well. And I think that's the fun part about
you recall a particular instance where you said, no, let's do it this way, and the director had a particular way, and obviously you made him see sense, or you
vice versa.
Vice versa. Yeah, obviously you being the senior, they would obviously
lots of times, and it has not only happened with Kayo for that matter. It's happened with Vishal also for that matter on Ma, where where we had to shoot. And with Kayo, I'll say that yes, we've had some very long involved discussions about how it should be done, and me, Prithviraj, all of us have sat together and kind of made sure that we're all on the right track and all on the same page. So yeah.
So there were no major points of difference and stuff like that.
I think points of difference are, everybody has their point of view, and the great thing about sitting down and talking about it is that at the end of the day, for a fact that the captain is the captain of the ship is the director. So yes, we have to do what he wants to do, but at the end of the day, we all also have an opinion and we all get our say in it.
It's interesting. I mean, I want to talk about the feminine gaze. Like, you've worked with a lot of female directors, whether be it Revati, be it Renuka, be it Tanuja Chandra, and I don't know if I've missed out anyone. Is there a difference when you work with a female director and when you work with a male director? Is there is the feminine gaze slightly different? Have you felt it?
I think the comfort level is different. I think there's a certain feminine, I would say, overriding that happens when there's a female director in charge, where you're suddenly on a much more comfortable level. But I will say that all my directors, whether it's Revati, whether it's Renuka or Tanuja or whatever, have been very fine directors. So I will give them the compliment of saying that they have made good films with a certain feminine sensitivity, rather than calling them just good directors because they were women.
But also, like when you do a film like Dushman, does something alter in you? Like, I mean, some of it is really graphic. Like when you do a film like Dushman and the part 1 and part 2 where you're playing the sisters, after the explicit scene and all, did anything shift, alter when you were doing that, or it was just like?
I think when you do emotional scenes and when you play out these scenarios on a set, it is always a disturbing experience. It is not an easy experience at all. And that's one of the reasons that I didn't want to do Dushman initially. So when Pooja actually came to me and I told her, I was like, I take it as a policy that I don't do these two things on screen. I don't portray it and I don't want to play it either. It's not something that I don't feel I don't feel comfortable doing, and I don't think it's necessary for me to prove my acting prowess in that particular field. There are lots of other fields that I can, kind of prove my worth in. But she was very clear that no, I will completely take that into consideration and we will work around it and we will make sure that at no point you will do something that you're not comfortable with. So that's how Dushman came to be. So, and again, I'll say that it is very, very, as an actor, whenever you're doing a shot, you have to feel that shot for those many seconds, however long it takes to complete it. And yes, it does leave a mark on you, no two ways about it. It takes you time to recover from something like that.
So how do you exorcise the demons? What do you do to go on a holiday? What do you do?
No, my exorcism is pretty much instant. It's pretty much instant, yeah.
But I remember you saying it actually took a toll on your nerves when you were doing Udhaar. That shloka, you did do that shloka scene very beautifully in Udhaar Ki Zindagi, and it took a massive toll on you at that.
Yeah, it did. But Udhaar Ki Zindagi, at that point in time also, I was very young. I was really young. I was like, I think it was my second or third film, Udhaar Ki Zindagi. It was something that I have, and it was a very heavy film for me to do. It was really heavy. Until then, I don't think I'd learned how to act also. Everything was, from the heart, from the heart. How much? There is only so much of a heart that you have. How much of it will you burst in the process of, going in front of the camera? So I think there was that aspect of it. And I remember at the end of the film, I told my mom that, I'm done. At the tender age of 18, I'm burnt out. I've gone through burnout, Mom. I'm having a nervous breakdown. So my mom was like, okay, calm down. So I was like, no, Mom, I don't want to do any more movies anymore that require me to give so much of myself. I want to do a few films where I am just simply, I'm running around trees, I'm dancing, I'm happy, I'm smiling, and I have 3 scenes and I'm done with the film. So yeah, that's how my burnout got over.
Is there anything, you've played mother to, I'm not saying boys your age, but fairly, like whether it is stepmom or all the kind of film, does the motherly instinct sort of kick in, or you sort of berate them and say like, shut up and listen to what I'm saying? You've played mom to a lot of, cool mom to a lot of kids,
I wouldn't say kids, but yeah, a lot of people, but a lot of kids. A lot of kids. But I've been a mom for like 22 years now, and it's not a role, it's a role that I wake up with every day and go to sleep with every day. So it's not something that's alien to me. It's something that comes pretty much, it's like part of my DNA. I can't not be Nissa's and Yug's mother ever. So that's pretty much me, and it's a very acknowledged part of my personality. So it's not something that that I hide away from, shy away from, or want to also.
In fact, your mom, whether it's Sharmila ji, your mom, Rakhi ji, overall, in fact, the most successful part of their careers happened after they had kids and this thing. So more power to you too. Is there something that say when you perform? Is there some part of you which stays when you do a scene and you say, hey, no, I should play the character. This is too much of Kajol coming in. Does it happen?
I try not to let it. I try not to let it, and I'm better at it now than I was earlier. Maybe earlier it did leak into my performances and stuff like that. I think it still does, and I don't think you can completely control it. What you are is what you are, and the camera is the all-seeing eye that sees everything, whether you wanted to see it or not. So you have to be very, very careful and cautious in what you are showing and not showing as well, both ways in front of the camera. And so yeah, there will always be your own identity that stands out. So therefore, I'm smart. And I choose characters that have a lot of me in it.
How easy are you with the process of acting? In the sense, is there one point where you said, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or hey, I need to get serious about this. I came here for a lark, but no, now I need to get completely, like, this is what I was meant to do, and I need to get serious about it. Was there any point like that?
I don't think you get serious. I think the minute I would get, if I thought that I was getting serious about it, I don't know whether I would act anymore. It's as simple as that. I think acting for me is fun. It's great fun for me to sit in front of the camera or to go on shoot and chill with everybody. That's why I work with people that I like. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and enjoy the fact that I'm going to work. I don't want to make it feel like work. But yeah, I want to do different things. I don't want to do the same thing again and again and again, and I get bored. So I don't want to be bored.
How do you get this sort of detachment? Like, from the, I think there is a certain detachment in you from the entire business of showbiz. Like,
Because I'm not enamored by it. I think because I've seen the hardships and I've seen the, I've seen the way people work. Like my mom and my dad, for that matter. My dad was a producer, director. I've been on set. I've seen the reality behind the on-screen fluff, and the reality behind it is sometimes cruel. It's sometimes cruel, and it's hard work. It's not easy at all. So when you see that aspect of it and when you see that angle of it, I think you're automatically a little inured from the entire glamour parade, basically. Because when you know that it involves, how much of it involves, how much of sacrifice is involved in it, how much of hard work is involved in it, physical, mental, emotional, you know for a fact that it's not as easy as a walk in the park. And it's like when you know that there is this much hard work involved to get you from point A to point B, you are much more focused on your road than you are on the side effects, which is glamour and fame are the side effects of your success, right? So I'm a little inured to it.
That's interesting. Your dad or the films your dad made had some great music, whether it's Chhela Babu, whether it's 50-50. What is the kind of advice that has he told you about the movie? I remember he gave an interview, and I remember that very clearly after he saw your performance in Bekhudi. Ab tum sab bhajiya talo or something like that.
Please send me that interview.
Yeah, I remember. I'll try to look at it in the archives, because I remember speaking to him then, and then he said, "Ki, your grandmother had seen your patrika, and she said, great things." And I think she decided on the name Kajol. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he had told me that. But this particular, he said, the minute I saw her on screen, she was like complete magic. Is there anything that you remember what your dad said about the movie business? I remember
my dad actually warned me. He said, you better be sure about what you want to do, because once you put that makeup on, it's not going to come off. And I was, 16 at that point in time. I was like, what nonsense, Dad, I'm an educated girl. I'm a today's woman. And if I choose to leave the films, I will leave the films, and I'll show you. And if I choose to do something else, I will definitely be able to do it. There's no one who can keep me from doing what I want to do. And he's like, think about it. It's a known fact that once you get into the business, it's very hard to get out of it. And he was right. But he was also a very, very practical person, very much in the flow of the industry, and a very, very practical person. He was the person also who told me that you must do Baazigar, because I was not sure about whether I should do Baazigar or not, and I was like, Dad, I'm really not sure about it. I mean, like, what is this film? What am I doing in the film? All that. And he's like, no, you must do it, these are good directors, and I know Abbas Bhai and Mustan Bhai and whatever, and, it's a good producer. So, you must do it. So that was one film that he actually told me that I really, really should do. Yeah.
But why were you having second thoughts, and would you always consult him when you saw?
Not always, but I think he knew. I mean, like, obviously my mom, dad, and we spoke about the films that we were, being offered and whatever. But yeah, I was just like, I was not sure. At that point of time, at writing stage, at script stage, when I heard the script, I was like, okay, it sounds great, but I mean, it doesn't sound that great either. I mean, and there were a lot of characters in the film. I was like, will I be able to, make my mark in the film? Will I be able to stand out? Not all of that. So, yeah, so he was the one who said, no, you must. He's a good producer. These are good producers. They're good directors. They'll take care of you. So I was like, okay.
Did you grow up in a predominantly, was it like a filmy atmosphere? Not as in filmy in the sense, but see, your dad was close to Rajesh Khanna, and I'm guessing Rajesh Khanna and Dimple came home a lot. I mean, were you close to any other film kids? What is the kind of, do you remember anything?
Not really, not at all. In fact, yes, I've met, of course, I've met Rajesh Khanna on sets, and I've met Zeenat Auntie as well on sets, and I've met Tina Auntie as well on sets and stuff like that. So it was not that that I didn't meet these people in a more casual setting and as a child, but I think it's for day-to-day life. No, not at all. In fact, once I grew older, I think my mom and dad separated also. So I was in town, and I lived with my aunt, lived with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother, and me and Tanisha together at home. And all of us in one house, and we had a great time together.
Even your uncle lived with you?
Yeah, he lived with us later. My uncle and my aunt lived with us later.
Yeah.
So,
I asked this because, when you see Tribhanga, there is the was your relationship with your grandmom, great-grandmom? When I see Tribhanga, I see, oh my goodness, 4 generations, 3. Was it anything like that? Because you were this hellraiser.
Absolutely. And they were very, very opinionated women. They were very, very opinionated women. My great-grandmother had an opinion on everything. My grandmother had an opinion on everything, and so did my mother. So we were like 3 very, very opinionated people. And trust me, those opinionated people had fights amongst themselves also. And sometimes it was over me.
Give me an example.
My
Describe an average
self. My angelic self sometimes gave rise to a few fights.
Describe an average angelic moment among the 4 women.
It was amazing. My great-grandmother loved me unconditionally. So, I mean, unconditionally and blindly, I would say. Not unconditionally, blindly. Whatever I did was, matlab, he बिचारी कशी आहे बघ हिला बघ आणि तू काय करते तिला म्हणजे every time I was a nice little plump child and she was like she's poor thing, she's so thin, look at her, you don't even feed her properly. My mother is looking at her, she is fat. She's not exactly underfed. So my great grandmother was one of those, like
was she an actress too? No.
Oh, she did a few plays.
Ratanji.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So she did a few plays.
And I saw this delightful interview which I sent you, I think, with Shobhna ji, where she talks about this wonderful, how she felt so privileged and because she played Sita in a film, and then she also talked about her wonderful friendship with Motilal, where he was on a fly. I mean, she had gone off to Lonavala. So he came on a helicopter and he showered her with love letters.
Wow.
She hasn't spoken to you about any of these.
No, we were not told about this. I think we were too young at that point of time to be told that we could have love letters showered on us.
But what does it feel to grow up in a completely matriarchal setup? Like, is there something that your grandmother said, or your mother, like, the words of advice which is like indelible?
I think the most the one thing that my mother and my grandmother both were very clear on was like, never stop working. Whatever happens, never stop working, and make sure that you are always, that you never lose your identity. And they never said that to me also. It was never said that, oh, never stop working, you should keep working for the rest of your life or anything like that. But it was just the way they conducted themselves also, the way they lived their lives. My grandmother was driving till she was 82 years old. 82 or 83 years old. She was still driving. She would live in Lonavala and she would drive to the market herself and come back. So it was my mother, was super independent, did her own thing, and my great grandmother till the end was managing the kitchen and going in there and sometimes cooking for herself and not, and keeping an eye on all of us. Keeping a very strict eye on all of us. So it was just the way they were. They were very, very complete women. And when we talk about feminism today, we talk about we yell and we kind of beat your chest and say that, oh, this is feminism, this is feminism, this is feminism. But actually, feminism is just being complete in who you are and doing exactly what you want to do without needing anybody else. Yes, it's lovely to have a man around and it's lovely to have, a partner to help you and to, share the load with and whatever. But if you don't have one also, it does not make you less of a person. Both ways, I would say, for the men and the women. So I think, so they taught me feminism in the kindest and nicest way possible.
What did your great-grandmother say when she saw you in Bekhudi?
My great-grandmother never saw me in Bekhudi.
Your grandmother, Shobhna.
My grandmother was like, oh, done well, baby. You've done well. So that was her. Oh, I was like, wow, my grandmother thinks that I've done well. It was, I think, the only compliment that I've gotten from her, which was so wholehearted. I mean, she loved me, no two ways about it, adored me. But it was, I think, an achievement for me to have her compliment me like that, Yeah.
Wasn't your mom also part of Bekhudi? Didn't she play your mom and stuff? What was it like actually working with your mom in Bekhudi?
My mom actually, I was terrorized when I first had to do a scene with my mother. I was so scared that, and I had to just stand in front of her and I had to just kind of give her a look. And I was like, me give my mother a wrong look? It was like, I've been trained from childhood never to even look at her wrong. I mean, how can I do that? Even in my dreams, I can't imagine it. Yeah. So that was the scary part of working with my mother. But yeah, she was like, don't be stupid. Just do what you have to do. So I was like, okay, mommy. And I tried to. I don't think I gave a very good shot, but I think Rahul uncle let me get away with it.
So you were talking about Bekhudi, and I remember Bekhudi was the first time, if memory serves me right, a heroine had Mickey Contractor throughout the entire film. And
so to be honest, I didn't know exactly the great the great privilege that I had by getting Mickey to do my makeup for the whole film. All I knew was that Mickey and Gautam both really adopted me and they took such great care of me that I had, I didn't know how well they took care of me till I finished the film, until a lot of years had passed by, till I had done a few other films. Then I realized exactly how much care they took of me at that point of time. But yeah, Mickey did a fabulous job in the film. He did an amazing job. And I want to tell you, he didn't only do the makeup, he did the clothes as well.
Really?
For the entire film. Farida ji, me, Kamal, and especially in the Canada schedule, it was Farida ji, me, Kamal, Rajan Mankotia, I think, no? Wasn't he there? Yeah, Rajan Mankotia was playing the villain in the film as well.
But did Rahul, because Rahul was this short-tempered, temperamental director, how many times did you get yelled at, if at all? Because I remember Canada was a very grueling, you all were shooting 14, 15 hours.
Rahul uncle didn't really yell at me that much.
No?
No, he yelled at me, I think, twice or thrice in the film. But that was it. I mean, he didn't yell at me every day or anything or nothing like that.
You remember what the year? Because I remember Mickey and Gautam were these protective mother hens who came and helped.
Yeah, they did. They took a lot of care of me and they made sure that Rahul uncle didn't get too angry with me or whatever. They kind of, quietened it down, medicated it, in every which way. So I was taken care of that way, I have to say.
Was Gup a challenge for you? I mean, now, of course, after that you've done a lot of sort of grey shades. But at that point, I remember every heroine didn't want to do a film opposite you because they were sure that you'd steal the show. I know a lot of women who said no to Gup, but at that point, because you were this leading star, you'd done films with Shah Rukh Khan and all that, and you were completely on the top of your game. Suddenly to do a negative, did you have any inhibitions or second thoughts about it?
Nothing. I really didn't.
No.
I loved the idea behind it. I loved the fact that I would be doing something completely different. And I thought it was very cool.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very cool. And I was just like, honestly, I don't think all of us really thought that much where our careers were concerned. I don't think we gave it that much thought. We did what we liked to do. And, we did it with people that hopefully we thought would be able to show it off to its best ability. But I think that was it. We didn't really think, okay, where is this going to take us? How will it be perceived? All that is today's ideology more than at that time.
Also, another interesting, before the word pan-India became cool, you did Minsara Kanavu and Sapne. Were you like shooting both films, both scenes simultaneously? First do the Tamil version, then do, or was it Telugu as well?
No, it was only Tamil.
Tamil.
I had to learn Tamil. And I had to do Hindi and Tamil. And it was really weird. It was so weird because I was like, no, but in Hindi my expression changes. And it's the language that's the main barrier with me doing a film in another language also, is because if I don't understand the language, I feel it's difficult for me to be a good actor. I may be decent, but I won't be good because I don't understand the language and because I'm not able to give it the nuances that I think it requires. So yeah, that is one of the main hesitations to me doing a film in another language.
But after that, again, you went back, you did a film with Dhanush, where again you paid but before that, wasn't it guts to be dancing with Prabhudeva? Tell me about that.
I have to say, it wasn't guts so much because I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do my best. I will never be a Prabhudeva, not in like God knows how many lifetimes, and that's okay. But it's such a privilege and such an honor to dance alongside with him also. And he is genuinely, like, I love to watch the man dance. He's just wonderful, wonderful to watch. And I think he studied so many dance forms, from Bharatnatyam to Kathak to, I think he studied Manipuri as well. Some real weird stuff he has done, like as far as dance is concerned. So he's really iconic in that respect. So for me to dance alongside with him, I was like, listen, I'm doing the best that I can now. Whatever can be happen now, whatever, and touch wood. And touch wood, Rajiv was very clear also. He says, yeah, we'll do close-ups and all that and make you look good. I was like, cool.
What conversations you had with Prabhudeva?
Prabhudeva was not a big talker at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk that much. And so yeah, very sweet guy though. Very sweet guy. Like, hi, how are you? Like, nothing much. What are you going to talk to him about? I don't think he spoke, Hindi too much. Of course, English there is a little bit, but not like great. No great conversations or anything like that.
And I have to ask you, Ajay, you worked as a co-star in so many films. What was it to be directed by Ajay in Yumiom? Was he like this dictatorial?
He was actually so supremely confident and so organized that I always knew he would be a good director, but I didn't realize how much of I didn't realize he would be such an organized director. I think being a director also has a lot to do with organizing your thoughts and being able to put a schedule into place to put that on camera. And he had that down pat from the first film itself, which is what I found amazing. And I remember towards the end of Yumi or Hum, in fact, Anissa was, I think, 2 at that time. And, maybe she was 1, and maybe she was a little older, I don't know. Anissa was really small, I remember. And my dad was not well at that time, and I remember I for the last schedule I had to run to the hospital every day. So I would come on set by 10 o'clock and he would leave me by 4 o'clock. So because I had to go to the hospital and I had to come back home, and then again I had to get ready and come. We couldn't cancel the schedule because it was the last schedule of the film. But we did so much work. We packed it in. The film was not, the schedule of the film was not impacted at all, even though I was only working for those 6 hours, you know. And he had done it so nice. And we were shooting the climax of the film. The entire climax at the, with in the hospital and stuff like that. So, and he put his 4 cameras up. We finished everything. Matlab, like that. That's why I always say he's a wonderful director. Really is.
Were there any points of disagreement on the script or a scene, the way you need to perform a scene? You know, because he's also acting opposite you and he's directing. That becomes...
No, but I think he respects me as an actor enough to know that what I'm doing is right for me. And as a director as well. I think he was very clear about that. He's like, let's just put up the 4 cameras, you act. That's the great thing about him, is that because he's been an actor, he knows exactly how much it takes out of you to keep doing the scene again and again and again from all the different angles. So he makes sure that it's so comfortable for you, puts up all his cameras in such a way that it's so comfortable for you as an actor to even perform an extremely emotional scene, because you know that it will be covered from every angle just once. You don't have to keep doing it again and again and again.
Amazing. Do you feel like now your kids have grown up? Have they seen your movie? What is the kind of reactions they give? Like when they watch, say, Baazigar or Dilwale Dulhania or Kuch Kuch. What is it?
They haven't seen Baazigar. I don't think they've seen Baazigar as yet. And but DDLJ they have seen. And though my son and my daughter both are like, they watch it through with a little like that, with one eye closed, because they're like, I don't want to watch, we don't want to watch you crying so much. I don't understand why you have to keep crying in all your movies so much. Should be like Papa, na? Does he cry in any of his movies? Does he? He's like, no, he doesn't. But yeah, so they enjoy the films. My son loved Ma. He loved it. So my daughter has categorically told me, I'm not watching this film. You're crying too much in this film. I can't watch it. Even in the trailer, you're crying so much and you're scaring me also on top of that. No, I'm not watching it. But my son has watched it and he loved it.
You've been married now more than 23 years?
26.
26. What has changed? Like, is there like a lot of negotiation that goes on in at one point you were doing films, plus you were a full-time mom, then you took a break for, say, about a year and a half. What is it? Suddenly you have your kids turn around and say, hey, you don't get this, mom, you don't understand. Just, the entire trajectory of a 26-year-old marriage. How does it feel? Like, are there any instances when you sort of catch your breath and you're 26 years and kids now telling you don't know anything?
I think that it's nice today. It's really, really nice today, because I think it took us so long to build. I think initially we were just building, we were creating, we were building, creating, building, creating. I think we've reached that point where we're enjoying it now. So I think that's where we both are, and it's a huge big life that we've both built together. So yeah, we're both still trying, and I think that's the best part of it.
More power to you. What about the kids? Like, say you're having a slanging match with Nissa, for example. Are you reminded of the time when you used to have slanging matches with your mom and said, shit, history is repeating itself? Look,
I never have a slanging match with Nissa. I can't compete. So I never, and she would never also. We have different kind of fights, but we don't have fights like this. We have fights where we are actually sitting down and we are like, we are trying to convince the other person that I am right. Because, and then the 120 reasons come up.
Who wins eventually?
So, it's not a question of, I gave up that term. I gave up that term of winning. That whole thing of winning was till, I think she was 11. After that, there was no point in winning and this thing. The point is to only sort it out. And so that's where we are. Fortunately, we don't have the who won,
Did she
booklet.
talk to you about her heartbreaks or the careers choices that she wants to make? Does she,
Yeah, we have lots of conversations over that. Yeah.
Also, what next? Now you're reading films, and at one point there was this entire brigade. A lot of Hollywood people wanted to employ agents, do stuff abroad. Have you? I remember during My Name Is Khan, there was a lot of interest. The people were interested in you doing. Would you at any point think of keeping an agent or look at roles?
I would love to. But I don't know whether I would right now or not. But yeah, I would love to work with Hollywood. I would not say in Hollywood so much as, but yeah, I'd love to, maybe do a joint production or something like that along that line.
You've never done an English language film in an Indian. You've used
But I've spoken English a
lot in Tribhanga and all of that. Yeah. And finally, how easy is Kajol with herself? Aging, for example. There's so much brouhaha about women going through the knife, women going through lots of stuff. But how do you look at aging as, in the entire scheme of things? Because every time we live in a crazy world of Instagram where everything you're judged on your Instagram looks, you're judged on everything is Instagram. But how does, women come under the microscope so much, the way they're looked at and the way they're perceived? Does that bother you? You have to put your best face forward all the time.
Well, it is tiring. I will say that. It is definitely tiring. No two ways about it. And I do think people who are not in the limelight have a lot more liberty than we do to be exactly who they want to be. But I think that is another thing that I think it's everybody's personal journey. To go under the knife or not go under the knife or do whatever they want to. I think it's everybody's personal choice, and that should be left to them. Whether they are in the limelight or they aren't in the limelight, it is a personal choice as to, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And let me just clarify it that it is not gender relevant. There are a lot of men who are doing it as well. In fact, equal amounts, I would say, who probably you do not know about or don't even want to comment on this particular stage. So I would say that it is definitely something that is a personal choice. And aging, as far as I'm concerned, is in the mind. I think it is something that it's like the privilege of aging is that you can do it. There are a lot of people who don't, and there are a lot of people who have died young and not ever had the chance to age at all. That doesn't mean that they were lucky. That just means that they didn't have the chance to age and to come forward in life. So yes, I have that many more wonderful years to live forward, and I'm looking forward to it.
I have to ask you about two interviews you did with in Filmfare. One was an interview with Fulan Devi, where you want to recall that moment, because I remember you transcribed the interview and you wrote it yourself.
It was amazing. She was amazing, but what a woman! She was really, really something else altogether. And when I met her, I was like, oh my God, this woman is amazing.
And we shot pictures of both.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's amazing. I mean, what a character, what a woman, what a life, everything. And I felt so small in comparison to her. I think you still will feel small in comparison to her because her life is just so vast and so big. So I think you will always feel small in front of her. Her life is just so vivid.
You remember anything that you asked or anything she asked you? You remember? And I remember we made you wear a band.
No, she never asked me anything. She was just like, she didn't really ask me anything. We were just like, kaise hain, baithiye. We talked about, this thing. And it was just it was a little surreal moment. I wasn't even sure what I should be asking her. I felt like I got away with a lot because...
You did a damn good job.
Yeah, I got away with a lot because of it.
Thank you so much for being in conversation with me, and it's been an honor.